Welcome to the Goose One channel. So, man, I never thought I'd say these words, but I miss Sign Crusher's Motorist. Liam McCay, the man behind slowcore act Sign Crusher's Motorist, was a controversial figure to say the least. Throughout 2022 and 2023, he released a litany of music under what felt like 5,000 different bands and established himself as a notable voice in the slowcore and indie scenes. And that controversy wasn't because of anything offensive or controversial he actually did. It was more so that his 5,000 bands all kind of sounded the same. And I never minded that. I think Liam harnessed a pretty unique sound and soundscape, managing to make so many derivations of it while still remaining catchy and creative. I think it's a testament to some of his strengths as a songwriter. On that topic though, I have always seen this next point of criticism as somewhat valid. You see, Liam's been accused of dropping some incel-level lyricism on a lot of his records, and I have always had trouble processing that one because while I could definitely identify that fact, I just love the music so much, but there's no denying that these lyrics give off some cringy vibes.
I stare at your pictures for hours on end, dreaming, fantasizing about holding you, feeling my hands on your bare skin, just being with you. There's this girl, only in my dreams. Would she ever care? Ever look at me?
I think it's definitely somewhat of a stylistic decision, however. Like Rate Your Music user Sacrificial said in their review of the record, "Whilst I'll Be Okay is a stereotypical duster slowcore sad TikTok slideshow in soulcore, it captures the essence of being a teenager, being depressed, edgy, etc. It is the embodiment of what most of us find ourselves being. I'm sure Liam's purpose of the album isn't to be a satire on teen depression, but if it is, he's doing a fucking great job at executing that." And, you know, even if you disagree with him doing any of this intentionally, I do really think there is something to the argument. I'll Be Okay, and really a lot of Liam's output around this record kind of plays with this very motif. It's the soul-crushing feeling of being a depressed teenager, too young to understand that it probably gets better, but old enough to probably know some type of profound sadness. And that's exactly what I think Liam's best work from this era manages to pull off so well. Despite all that though, by the release of Liam's final work in this era of his music, Dead Calms Accept, a lot of these faults were seemingly addressed. The instrumentation and style were a big shakeup as he transitioned more into an indie folk emo revival inspired sound. Instead of the very soft duster plus horse jumper of love inspired sound he'd been drenched in before, now he pulls more from Bon Iver, German Error Message, and maybe a little bit of Bright Eyes, specifically I'm Wide Awake It's Morning. And I think it's a sound that works really well. Despite the lo-fi production in his older work, the sound on records like I'll Be Okay and Agony manages to feel very strangely ethereal, and not in the open field broad space all around you way, but in the universe weighing down on you way. As if the world itself is pressing down on you, as if Liam was in a dark void writing and recording these songs where nothing but the electric guitar in his hands existed. By the time of Dead Calm, it feels like that veil has been lifted, and the sound is fittingly more homely. It's like the transition from American football to Owen. We rely less on the instrumental motifs to provide a vibe, we switch to acoustic guitars, we allow the lyrics and vocals to take more of a forefront. And the lyrics are a lot better here. Instead of reading like an early Elliot Rodger video mixed with a love letter, we veer a lot more poetic. Tracks like Sweat and Tears portray a feeling of growing up, of letting go of hatred, and processing one's feelings in healthier ways.
I don't wanna hate anymore. I just wanna love. 'Cause all of this hatred within is beating me up.
There are some McCayisms still left on this record, of course, but I think it's a triumph of his discography. In a sense, this is Liam's coming-of-age record. Still quite juvenile in some ways, still holding on to what made him special, but letting go of some of the more toxic parts and growing into a stronger person. Liam was born in 2005, 2 years before I was, and I think I see part of myself in him on this very record. In 2023, when he dropped this record, Liam turned 18, and I think I just see a similar shift in my own art at that very age. Or, I don't know, I might just be reading into some stuff too much. So, what comes after? What was the next step in Liam McCay's evolution? What's next is Carson Clay. Carson Clay was the first crack in the tapestry of Liam McCay. This was the Wicca-face springsification, no, the divification of Liam McCay. You see, Liam McCay's goal in life wasn't to be an amazing slowcore artist, no. He wanted to be a rapper. Carson Clay's 18 isn't terrible. I originally wrote far from it here, but no, I don't really think it's that far from terrible. I think 18 takes everything interesting about McCay's music from before and dilutes it, which is impressive in a project like a million times shorter than anything he'd released before it. Take a track like All My Life, for example.
I've been down all my life. I've been down all my life. On the water all night. Get this bitch out my life. I've been down all my life. I've been down all my life. Shorty knows how I die. I'ma leak it on live. 7 bands on a hotel.
This is terrible. He's doing a sort of Lil Peep thing here, which is crazy. Bro, it's 2023. Even at that, I think Liam's lyricism really falters on this record. Like I said, he's doing a Lil Peep thing here, and while the flexing while being sad thing worked for Peep because it was like his whole deal and he put more effort into it, and that's his whole image, it just doesn't work for Liam. We know what he's like. We've heard 100 songs from him, and I'm being literal when I say 100 songs from him about being sad about girls where he doesn't mention money or sledding on the Alps once, so why is he doing it now? When he leans into the more rap-leaning lyricism, it doesn't work because I cannot buy a single word coming from his voice. And when he sticks to stuff similar to his old lyrics, which is performed and written in a more boring way than before, it also doesn't work because the beats are way too energetic. What is this? I don't fucking get it. I think this EP is phony as shit. I believe Liam has a history in listening to emo, slowcore, and indie from listening to all his other music. I can hear his influences on the previously mentioned records, but this is phony as hell. The only influence I can hear in here is like maybe he's listened to a few Lil Peep songs, but the emo rap genre is more than Peep. Rest in peace. It's Black Gray, it's Garden, it's Convolk, it's Ninetales, Sewer Person, hell's fucking Blade to some extent. And it certainly isn't whatever the fuck Liam was doing on this record. I'm sorry. I guess this is where we get to Hybrid? I really don't know what the fuck Hybrid is, guys. From what I can tell, it's a collab project between Liam McCay and Casey. I know more about Liam than I know about Casey, but I know Casey a little bit. They released an EP, a 2-track EP, and it's called Bruised. The 2 songs on the Bruised EP are like fine. The title track is like a fun rage-leaning emo rap track with a very compelling vocal performance from Casey and a heartbeat. The second track is worse in my opinion, but not like terrible to any extent. It's fine. It's just very slow, kind of boring. I don't think Casey's vocals are meant for a track like this. But like, what is Liam doing here? Genuinely, where is he? As far as I can tell, Casey's the only one rapping on this track or the other one. Yet this is supposed to be a collab EP project, right? So is Liam doing beats? I haven't really heard Liam rap at all since that Carson Clay EP, and you know, that's crazy. I can't give out the name of my source because I am a professional YouTube journalist with ethical standards, read sarcasm, but I have it on good authority that Liam moved to the US after his final EU tour in early 2024 to pursue his rap career. And I also have it on good authority that in that more than half a year time span, he hasn't released anything but this Hybrid EP. So what is he doing? What's the plan here? Now, I'm not here making this video to judge Liam's choices. That's the last thing I want to do. All I want to say with this is that I miss Sign Crush's Motorist. It's been over a year since the release of Dead Calms Accept. Over a year and a half since SCM's Hurting. And I just miss Liam's artistic voice in the scene. I think he had a sound that he executed well, and that he had a creative mind that allowed him to create some really fucking cool art. And I'm still here, waiting for whatever else he decides to make. I'm just not sure rap is the right lane for him. Okay, this is a quick insert. Suddenly, like the fucking day after I finished my script, a bunch of like interviews with Liam, and like podcast appearances, and more importantly, his fucking On the Radar performance with Casey popped up, and I don't know. I really don't want to rewrite the script. I think it's done. I think it kind of fucks up the story, but just to quickly address it all, I still don't think he's like legit, right? Like his energy with Casey in that On the Radar performance. I think he looks very much in his element, you know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's where he is right now. The fact that he was on a podcast of an Irish guy does make me less sure about my well-trusted source I talked about earlier. But you know, whatever. Just ignore this or don't. Wrapping this video up, I really wish the best for Liam in his future endeavors in whatever he's gonna do. He's a young kid and he's got a bright future ahead of him if he was able to move to the US at the age of 19 to pursue rap. He's driven, motivated, and incredibly artistically talented. So Liam, if you're watching this, kick ass out there, dude. Don't take this video too much to heart. See it more as an expression of my experience of your art. I think you've got a bright future ahead of you, like I said, so just keep doing what you're doing. And with that, this video comes to an end. I really enjoyed making this one, getting to dig into some music that I've always had conflicted feelings and thoughts on, and trying to figure out what I really thought about it was a fun exercise in artistic analysis. And on the other hand, I thought it was interesting weaving a sort of story through Liam's various projects. With that said though, I've got to get going. If you like this video, consider subscribing or maybe pledging to my Patreon. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.